This episode of Southeast Iowa Today is brought to you by Griner Auto Body of Washington, Iowa. Using state-of-the-art techniques and decades of experience to get your car back on the road after an accident. Car Doctor of Washington, Iowa. No matter who Frankensteined it, they can fix it, clean it, and customize it. McDonald Boneyard of Keota, Iowa. For all your farm equipment and auto recycling needs. For great food, it's your choice. Your Choice Family Restaurant of Wayland, Iowa. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Come to our cruise-ins this summer on the second Tuesday of the month, June through September. Girling Repair of Winfield, Iowa. If your mower is dead, call Fred, your Husqvarna, Aaron's, and Gravely dealer. Fred also fixes and sells snowblowers. B&B Propane and the family of jet stops. CW Tree Trimming, LLC. We're into your trees, not your wallet. Serving all of Henry County and the surrounding area. We offer a senior citizen and veteran discount. Dutch Market and Coffee Talk of Washington, Iowa. Dutch Market can handle all of your grocery needs, and they even have a conference room that you can use for free. Coffee Talk's drive-thru is open and ready to serve you coffee, energy drinks, sandwiches, baked goods, and ice cream. They all present you the award-winning Southeast Iowa Today. Here's the author of Christie's Journey, The Beat Goes On, and your host, John Bain.
Thank you, announcer Cody Roy of NewEnglandDukes.com for your golden pipes and wonderful introduction. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 94. 28 Iowa State Senators saddle up with Jefferson County Sheriff. That's what this episode is titled, and you're probably wondering, well, what in the heck does that mean? Well, what that means is that Jefferson County Board of Supervisors, Lee Dimmitt and Joe Ledger, are not going to be happy because what they want to end is not ending yet. They wanted Jefferson County Attorney Chauncey Molding and Sheriff Bart Richmond to stop the court battles on the Brady Giglio list issue. And basically, Sheriff Richmond, he can't stop if County Attorney Chauncey Molding doesn't stop first. And what I mean by that is the sheriff won in district court. The county attorney lost in district court. The sheriff is supposed to be removed from that list. The county attorney has declined that responsibility because he has appealed the decision. Well, Lee Dimmitt in a recent Board of Supervisors meeting implored and requested that these guys get together, figure it out, and ultimately Chauncey Molding needed to drop the appeal. It hasn't happened. In the meantime, this has happened. This is for the Supreme Court of Iowa. It was filed on July 28, 2025. And if you're a certain person of my age, you might need readers to read some of this print because it gets small. And I'm going to put these on now so that I don't mess up as many words. And so here we go. And I'm putting it on the screen too so you can see it. In the Supreme Court of Iowa, Bart Richmond, plaintiff appellee versus Jefferson County attorney defendant appellant. And Jefferson County attorney is Chauncey Molding. On appeal from the Iowa District Court for Jefferson County, the Honorable Jeffrey Farrell, case number CVEQ 004708, brief of Amicus Curiae by 28 Iowa State Senators pursuant to Iowa Code 625A.19. W. Charles Smithson is the counsel for Amicus Curiae. So we will read on. You'll see here is the table of contents, and we will get past that. There's a couple pages of that, page 2 and 3. And here's page 4. Statement required by Iowa R.APP.P.6.9064D. No party or parties counsel authored this brief in whole or in part, nor contributed money to fund the preparation or submission of this brief. No other person contributed money to fund the preparation or submission of this brief. Page 5. Interest of Amicus Curiae. Pursuant to Iowa Code 625A.19/2025, Senate Majority Leader Jack Whitver hereby files this Amicus Curiae brief. Senate Majority Leader Whitver is joined by 27 other Iowa State Senators who were duly elected by the citizens of their several districts. The Senate is a legislative body of the General Assembly created by Iowa Constitution Article 3. As elected state senators, amici have a duty under the Constitution to ensure that the General Assembly's authority in passing legislation is protected. This case involves a substantial impact on the authority of the General Assembly as a co-equal branch of government. Amici include Jack Whitver, Senate Majority Leader Amy Sinclair, Senate President Ken Rosenboom, Senate President Pro Tempore Mike Klimisch, Senate Majority Whip Adrian Dickey, Assistant Majority Leader Lynn Evans, Assistant Majority Leader Tim Kryenbrink, Assistant Majority Leader Carrie Kolker, Assistant Majority Leader and Senators Kevin Alons, Mike Buslot, sorry Mike if I messed that up, I know I did mess it up, Dan Dawson, Don Driscoll, Jessica Green, Carrie Grunhagen, Mark Lofgren, Charlie McClintock, Mike Peake, Jeff Reichman, Dave Rowley, Sandy Salmon, Jason Schultz, Tom Shipley, Dave Sires, Annette Sweeney, Kara Warm, Scott Webster, Sherry Lynn Westrich, and Dan Zumbach. So those are the senators. Up next is the argument. But we're going to take a quick break so you can soak all this in, and I'll be right back. Hey, thanks for watching the podcast. We're taking just a quick break here because I need to share with you how you can get one of these cool t-shirts or one of these cool hats or this huge, let me just make sure I'm holding this right, Southeast Iowa Today with John Bain blanket. Oh, man, it is soft too. Anyway, all you gotta do is go to a website called Bain Designs, and that's what it looks like. You can see it there. Once you're there, just search Southeast Iowa Today with John Bain, and boom, up comes that. And you can get stuff like this, a tumbler that says Southeast Iowa Today with John Bain, and on the back, stay friendly, Southeast Iowa. And don't forget the ever cool Southeast Iowa Today with John Bain coffee mugs that also say stay friendly, Southeast Iowa. It's all there. And why am I telling you this? It's because I appreciate you, and I know that you tell people about this podcast, but this is a way for you to become a walking billboard, get some conversation started, help me promote your favorite podcast. And once again, I thank you. And this was a long enough break. We got to get back to the podcast. And, stay friendly, Southeast Iowa. And thank you so much.
I agree it needs to stop. It should have never happened in the first place. The whole thing was fabricated from the beginning, and I won in district court. He's trying to control who holds the office of sheriff. He's trying to get me removed from office, and he will not drop this thing. I guarantee he won't. I'm not suing the county. I'm defending myself and the office of sheriff.
And the bottom line is this: you were put on the Brady Giglio list, and that was done by the county attorney.
Correct. It's all his actions, and he continues to push this story. It's completely political, and it's harassing and defamation. He's ran to news outlets and gave them false information.
And the bottom line is you won in court, and you should be off of that list.
Correct. I won in district court, and he's appealed it. And it's incurring more legal fees.
And 2 out of 3 of the Jefferson County Board of Supervisors stressed very clearly to the public and to everyone in the meeting that they want this stopped. They want it to end. There is no benefit for the county of Jefferson County, or for the residents of Jefferson County.
Correct. There is no benefit to the residents of the county by continuing to attack a political party.
So besides doing your regular routine each day, going to work, serving the residents of Jefferson County, Iowa, you've got this on your plate.
Correct. And it's been a heavy weight.
I bet it
And
is.
it's been going on a long time. And I want it to end, and I will defend myself. I'll defend my position as sheriff.
And I would expect, you would hope that any sheriff would do that.
Correct. Correct.
So, Mr. Molding's going to see this, and I always welcome if he would like to talk and be on this podcast. You can reach out to me. Just go to my Facebook page, sir. Go on Southeast Iowa Today with John Bain and send me a message, and we'll get together. Any final thoughts, sir? I know you're very busy, and so far this is at 3 minutes and 6 seconds of podcast excellence. Anything else that you would like to say at this time? I would like to ask you a ton of questions, but I promised you before we went on, in full transparency to the audience, that I would just touch base on what was talked about today. But if there's anything else you want to mention.
I just appreciate you, John, just for your honesty and not getting one side of a story that's false, fabricated, made up. He continues to push his narrative, and it's not true. So I appreciate what you do for the public.
Well, thank you very much. And Mr. Molding, we were happy to hear your side too.
And that was Sheriff Bart Richmond. I just interviewed him a week and a half or so ago. You probably saw the interview on the podcast, but if you're a first-time viewer, you may not have seen it yet, so you're up to speed on his thoughts on that. I haven't talked to Chauncey Molding person to person on this issue. Part of the reason is he's been everywhere in local media. You've heard his side of the story, but I've also invited him every time I've talked about this. If he has something he wants to say on camera to me and to you, the audience of Southeast Iowa Today with John Bain, he's more than welcome to do it. All he has to do, here's my Facebook page, send me a message, Southeast Iowa Today with John Bain, and I'll get back to you, sir. So anyway, that was that. And now we're going to get to the argument. So we'll put page 6 up on the screen. Introduction. Amicus file. This brief in defense of Iowa Code 80F, or I should say 80F.1, 2025. Amicus believe that Iowa Code 80F.1, 25, the statutory provision under appeal, is constitutional against all raised challenges. However, this brief focuses specifically on the challenge that the statute is unconstitutionally vague under the 3 components of the void for vagueness doctrine established by the Iowa Supreme Court. See State versus Geddes 998 NW2D 166 Iowa 2023. Amicus assert that 80F.125 is not unconstitutionally vague under court precedent. In addition, Amicus urged this court to find that Iowa Code 80F.125 is constitutional against all challenges, including the void for vagueness doctrine. 2. Paragraph 2. Iowa Code 80F.125 is not vague. Iowa Code 80F.1 defines and set out procedures related to complaints and investigations, as well as an establishment of other statutory protections provided to an officer. In a logical and natural extension of the first 23 sections of the law, the legislature adds 80F.124. That is a very precise process for a prosecuting agency to place an officer's name on a Brady-Giglio list, with the term Brady-Giglio list defined in Iowa Code 80F.11A. The legislature then expressly and very clearly enacts the procedure an officer utilizes to appeal placement on the list in 80F.125. Now we're on to page 7. The Iowa Supreme Court has recognized the legislature's authority as the policy-making and advancing branch of government. See Jasper versus H. Nizam or Nizam, Inc., 764 NW2D 751, Iowa 2009, and in regard CS 515 NW2D 851, Iowa 1994. The legislature made an advanced policy by enacting the procedure for placement on the Brady-Giglio list. In addition, the legislature enacted the appeal of such placement on the list with other officer-related policies and procedures enacted in Iowa Code 80F.1. There are certain crucial principles that bear noting. First, statutes are, quote, cloaked with a presumption of constitutionality, unquote, and that must be rebutted with proof of, quote, unconstitutionality beyond a reasonable doubt, unquote. AFSCME Iowa Council 61 versus State 928 NW2D 2131, Iowa 2019, quoting State versus Searing 701 NW2D 655661, Iowa 2015. See also in regard detention of Schumann 2NW3D33, Iowa 2024, and Iowa Code 4.4/2025 in quote, enacting a statute, it is presumed that compliance with the constitutions of the state and of the United States is intended, unquote. In addition, challenges under the vagueness doctrine are a heavy burden. See State versus Keene 629 NW2D 360, Iowa 2001, and State versus White 545 NW2D 552, Iowa 1996. Finally, 80F.125 is not a statute resulting in criminal prosecution, but rather in an administrative and civil manner, so the doctrine is less stringent. See MRM Inc. versus City of Davenport 290 NW2D 338, Iowa 1980. In applying the void for vagueness doctrine as established by the Iowa Supreme Court, the officer and the prosecuting agency have fair notice. State versus Baker, 688 NW2D 250-255, Iowa 2004. Also State versus Millsap, 704 NW2D 426-436, Iowa 2005. Iowa Code 80F.125 provides that an quote, officer shall have the right to petition the district court in an action regarding a prosecuting agency's decision to place an officer on a Brady-Giglio list, unquote. The parties may request a closed hearing, present evidence. The legislature set out a clear process resulting in both parties having a reasonable understanding of the process. In addition, the law provides sufficient guidance to prevent exercise of power in an arbitrary or discriminatory fashion. State versus Nail 743 NW2D 535-539, Iowa 2007. The language of the statute is specific on the appeal process. The law does not prohibit conduct leading to a penal situation that is more susceptible to arbitrary or discriminatory application. Finally, 80F.125 does not broadly sweep in or substantially chill First Amendment rights leading to, quote, overbreath, unquote. For Morrow versus Polk County, 773 NW2D 834, 841 through 842, Iowa 2009. Rather, it is a statute that enacts a procedure for an appeal of a very specific matter. Based on precedent of the Iowa Supreme Court, Iowa Code 80F.125 does not violate the void for vagueness doctrine. So in paragraph 3, if necessary, and this is page 9, if necessary, 80F.125 is severable. Amici believe Iowa Code 80F.125 is constitutional against all challenges raised in this appeal, including against a void for vagueness challenge. If the court does determine that 80F.125 is invalid, Amici respectfully urge the court to apply the severability principles codified in Iowa Code 4.12/2025 and conclude that the remainder of 80F.1 is enforceable. The law is structured in a way that if this court determines that 80F.125 is invalid, the remaining provisions can operate independently and continue to reflect the legislature's intent. See Wesco Agronomy Co. LLC versus Wallison 909 NW 2D 212 Iowa 2017. Conclusion. Will there ever really be a conclusion? Conclusion. This brief is filed under Iowa Code 625A.19/2025. Amici do not request time to participate in oral argument. For the reasons stated, Amici urge the court to find that Iowa Code 80F.125 does not violate the void for vagueness doctrine and the statute is otherwise constitutional against other challenges. Respectfully submitted, W. Charles Smithson, and he's in Des Moines. He's the counsel for Amici Curiae. And then there's a certificate of compliance on page 10. And on page 11, certificate of service, W. Charles Smithson certified that on July 27, 2025, he electronically filed the foregoing with the clerk of the Supreme Court of Iowa using the Iowa Electronic Document Management System that will send notification to the parties of record. Hopefully I did well on reading that to you. It's out here now. You can rewatch it again. You've heard the sheriff's comments once again on this whole subject. It's been going on in his mind and in his world and in his experience since 2020. I agree with County Board of Supervisors of Jefferson County, Lee Dimmitt and Joe Ledger. It's time for this to stop. What do you folks think? Write down below. Put your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to share this podcast. However you watch or listen to it, share it with the friends, the people you know, the people you care about, the ones you love. Let them know what's going on in Jefferson County, especially if you're in that county. It's your county. All these people are there because they were elected. You're a voter, you're a taxpayer. You need to know this stuff. You need to pay attention to it. I'm just one outlet, one source. Don't count on me for everything because I'm just one little harmful, lovable little fuzzball with a cochlear implant. I can't do it all, but I do try to do a lot. I thank you for watching. I thank my sponsors, Griner Auto Body, Car Doctor, McDonald Boneyard, Your Choice Family Restaurant, Girling Repair, B&B Propane, and the family of Jet Stops, CW Tree Service LLC, Dutch Market, and Coffee Talk. I'm your host, John Bain. Stay friendly, Southeast Iowa.